Welcome to another playoff edition of On the Line. Playoffs kind of suck. We keep losing players left and right. Uh, Way too many injuries. I don't want to say it's a Mickey Mouse title. I don't want to say it's a tainted title. It might be. Last night we lost the two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo in the, if I said that right, Bucks Hawks. I don't even know what to think about it anymore.
Well, it is interesting that like the Bucks were not playing well, and everyone without Trey Young, you would have thought that those guys would come in there and take care of business, and they could be playing at a certain level. They're them being behind, Giannis having the third quarter that he had, but you're right. It's just the NBA right now, and it's almost going to be a battle of attrition. And I don't want to. I'm not looking at this Giannis injury and saying, "Oh, he played too many minutes during the regular season." Like it was just a freak accident. And the same thing with Trey Young. Like Trey Young been playing great, steps back, hits the official's foot, and now he's out. So it is kind of a battle of attrition here, and that's going to be the answer to this one. And a lot of people talked about the shortened offseason. I don't necessarily put these two injuries on that.
No, these two injuries are definitely not associated with that. And I think too, I mean, there's a lot of great things about this series. Like my favorite thing from the past two games in Atlanta was Giannis purposely waiting, I think, until after the Hawks fans chanted 10 to shoot a free throw. I thought that was awesome. And then it was one of those things where yesterday, every single one of my friends that were Bucks fans are like, "Oh shit, we lost Giannis. We're gonna lose tonight." Oh, no, they lost Trey. We're gonna lose tonight. Like we're not gonna win. Just one of those weird
Oh,
things.
your people thought that
They thought they thought the Bucks were toast the minute Trey was out because it's like one of those things for the Bucks. Like I've noticed this too. They play down to their competition,
for
and it
sure.
puts them in a lot of awful situations. Which I was going to talk about it later, but I'll talk about it now. It's just one of those things where after that first half, even with Giannis, when they were down by about 10 plus, I automatically thought like it's the Suns' title to lose, or the Clippers even. Like even if the Clippers make it without Kawhi, I think still like whoever wins the West at this point is now the favorite because of the inconsistencies of both these teams, with or
Yeah, no,
without the injuries.
I don't disagree with the inconsistency, but like the Bucks are the best team standing. They're just so mentally weak. How could they go in and play game 7, go to overtime, or be down by 8 points to the Nets, figure out a way to win that, go and win in overtime, and then blow that game or come out the way that they came out against the Hawks? The Bucks are a frustrating team, no doubt about it. But if no, I have no idea what's happening. Like the cool part was that injury would have knocked out a lot of guys for the playoff. I don't know if Giannis is out, and the fact that he came back, it looks like he wanted to go back into the game. It's going to be really interesting moving forward for games, 5, 6, 7 to see how this thing plays out. But to me, the Bucks are the best team. They have the best talent, but mentally, man, they are just so mentally weak. It's shocking to me.
It just they can't put it all together. It doesn't make any sense. Like it's literally when game 3 when they were down about 7 left, it was like they're toast. Like the Hawks are going to take the lead, and then Middleton went on God mode and hit all those threes. It was one of the
Mm-hmm.
situations where like I saw their defense, the way the pressure they had, the effort. It's like the effort's not there all the time. They don't put the effort in until it's like, oh, we kind of have to put it in. We kind of have to try
Yeah.
here, and that's the most frustrating thing watching them because they have no business being tied in this series at
No.
all. And
No.
I still think they're going to win. I think Giannis is going to come back. I think they're going to kind of go in that mode they went against the Nets. I mean, it's the title's right there. But to be fair, I also thought that yesterday. I thought no Trey kill mode, and they didn't do it. It's a toss up.
No.
It's gonna go 7. I don't think that's debatable. I think it just goes home, and then whoever wants it more.
Yeah,
Honestly.
and we'll see with the energy that they play with to start. Like just the way that they came out, you could see like they were just like I don't know. I don't know how you could check out of a playoff game, but we saw the same thing with the Phoenix Suns when they were celebrating Chris Paul. Oh, he's finally going to go to the finals. Like they still had to play and win a game, and it was like I was surprised that a team with the team on the ropes, they had the Clippers on the ropes, and they came out soft. I'm shocked when I see that type of stuff.
And then, well, to be fair, well, let's get into that then. Let's get into the Suns Clippers. I thought it was another situation where Chris Paul came back, and I was like, Clippers are going to win because it wasn't because what Chris Paul does to the Suns. It's because he's been off for a couple weeks. He did have COVID, and that kind of situation you've seen in the past when a guy comes back from something like that, being completely away from the team doesn't come back right away. I do think they win tonight, but that was kind of a situation where that happened. Paul George also went off for 40. which wasn't expected. I didn't think he'd actually pull it off, but if you're an old head, love defense. Game 4 was
Mhm.
awesome. Fourth
Yeah.
quarter, especially if you're a defense guy. Then Game 5 was the Paul George game, or some people like me are saying it's the Boogie Cousins game. So Game 6, I hate saying it, it might be a must win for the Suns.
Well, I don't know if it's must win. I think they could win game 7, but I do think they're going to win tonight. I'm with you on that one. I think these guys are going to figure it out. What underrated was the great start by Marcus Morris in the first
Yeah,
quarter
yeah.
and Reggie Jackson. And then you mentioned DeMarcus Cousins. Like, Paul George, it was the Paul George game, but he was 1 for 3 in that first quarter. And I'm not like knocking him for being 1 for 3. You want him.
Knock him, please.
No, no, you want him to play. That's right. You like the Pacers. You want him to play great in the later quarters. But I do think that I feel like Marcus Morris is the heart and soul of this team. When he plays well, I think they're really difficult to beat. So we'll see if he can back it up. I guess 2 hours before the game, he was a game time decision, and he decided to go, and he had a really good game. He had a really good start. So I got the Suns tonight. Tonight would be game 6,
6.
right?
Yeah, Game
Yeah, today's,
6.
I got the Suns tonight, and I got Chris Paul finally like shaking off the rust from COVID.
God, I hope so. But it's one of those things too where as I said earlier, I want you to slander Paul George. And I mean, if he wasn't so mean to Indianapolis, literally, if he has a microphone in his face for more than 30 seconds, he'd make sure he takes a jab at Indiana. But if I were to be nice to him, I'd say he's played over 100 more minutes than the next guy in the playoffs. He averages about 40 minutes a game in the playoffs, but he's a dick, so I'm not going to say that. It's frustrating.
I can't give him like the recognition either, because first of all, the eye test shows me something different. I don't care about your stats. I know, but I know when you score over 20 points and you take 26 shots, like I know you're good. You're just not as good as those other guys. It's not a knock. You don't nothing, no stats or anything can convince me as you being a superstar. You're a star and you're a great, talented player, but you're not a superstar. You're not on the level of some of these other guys, and I think we'll see that tonight.
I will say this too, because it's not really giving him too much praise. For 47 minutes the 47 minutes, he's really good. That final minute, I don't know what it is with his head. Like he just falls apart. And I'm not just saying that to be dickhead because he's so mean to Indy, but like that's just the truth. In the final 30
Yeah,
seconds, his field goal percentage is just so bad. And he also has like top 5 like most games with 25% field goal percentage. It's not like he's the playoff P mantra. Like, and then he asks why he's being scrutinized so much. It's because you shoot 25% from the field or worse,
sure.
and it's like
Sure.
incredible amounts. It's frustrating. I do, as I said earlier, I love Boogie Cousins getting more minutes.
Uh-huh.
I can't say I was kind of happy to see Zubac out, but I kind of was because I got to see more Boogie Cousins. I was shocked he didn't get a technical foul. I
Yeah,
thought in the
what's
fourth
your
quarter.
fascination with Boogie?
I just love Boogie. He doesn't give a shit. Like he just goes out there, does his
He
thing.
doesn't.
Like I
Yeah,
love Boogie. It's also because he's been through a lot. Every time he gets in a situation of winning, he gets hurt or like something really
yeah,
bad happens. So I've always liked Boogie. I've always liked just him in general. I think it's funny how every time he's on the floor, the refs find really dumb reasons to give him techs.
yeah.
So I don't know. I just really like Boogie.
Well, I
Also,
know
who doesn't like
why.
saying the name Boogie? Like that's such a
Yeah,
fun name to say.
the refs see Boogie Cousins acts like he's Boogie Cousins from 5 years ago, and the refs they would put up with it if he was a 5-time All Star and he was but they're not putting up with it for a guy who gets DMPs. Trust me firsthand. I got firsthand knowledge. Referees ain't taking shit from me when I'm out there, right? And Boogie Cousins is like a 12th man right now, so they take it from some of the stars, maybe even the second tier players. They're not taking it from Boogie Cousins, and that's why he ends up getting the tech. And he's always like in the middle of everything. But I did enjoy. It did remind us like this guy's an unstoppable force one on one. No one can really guard him one on one. He's so
No.
strong.
He's so when he's locked in and he's hitting, like if he can hit his threes too, like there's I cannot remember if he had a 3 last game, but if he hits his threes, like he's dangerous. He's very, very
Oh,
dangerous.
super
And
talented.
speaking of Boogie getting minutes in all the kind of biggest story about the Clippers is you could say it's Kawhi, but it's really been Ty Lue and his adjustments he's made every single game. His latest adjustment has been benching your boy Rondo. And he's only improved his record in elimination games up from 9-2 to 10-2. Um,
Mhm.
He's a top 5 coach. I don't think that's even
Yeah,
debatable at this point.
yeah. He doesn't. Any coach that coaches LeBron does not get the proper credit that they deserve as a
No.
great coach. He's made great adjustments. I like what he does, and he has so many different lineups. Like I like what he does with Terrence Mann, and puts Terrence Mann at the 5, sort of like what the Nets do with Bruce Brown. And so I just like the adjustments he makes, and I feel like he's not afraid to make mistakes. A lot of coaches, they want to go right down. We I think we talked about this. Remember when I thought Steve Nash, I wouldn't have done this if I was a coach. I would have played Kevin Durant in Game 6, but I thought Steve Nash should have sat. I thought they shouldn't have traveled Durant and Harden. Like, there's no way they were going to win 6, and then for Game 7 they could be rested, right?
Oh,
I feel like
you were on the Reggie Miller boat.
yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't have
Oh,
done it. I wouldn't have done it, but I think it was the right thing to do. So think about
gotcha.
it. I wouldn't do it because I'm like some the basketball gods would like I don't want to mess with the game, the purity of it,
Yeah.
right? But I kind of feel like and using that as an adjustment. That is the ultimate playoff adjustment. Think about it. And I really think that Ty Lue would have done it. I think he would look at the series and say, you know what? My best chance of winning is to make sure my best player gets rest. We can go up there and he can play 44 minutes and we can still lose and have this game. If my best chance of winning this series is for me to do this, I'm going to do it. And I use that as an example. That's an extreme example
Yeah.
of doing what you feel is right to win a series, even though everyone will look down upon it. But I think he does that, and he's not afraid to do adjustments that people are going to look at him like, "Why are you doing?" He's not afraid of trying things, and the things sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And but so far in this playoffs, they have worked
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think the one thing I kind of said it a little earlier, the one thing that sucks about this playoffs and this series specifically is it's a lot of what ifs about the Clippers. Like if Kawhi Leonard's healthy, I think it's you can make a case. The Clippers have outplayed the Suns in pretty much every game but game one,
for sure.
and the difference has been in the final couple minutes of every single game, which is usually when Kawhi Leonard takes over, and that's when Kawhi does his thing. And I think that's going to be the theory of the series, but that's also the theory of the entire playoffs. Like, there's been no Jamal Murray, there's been no like Anthony Davis was hurt, LeBron was hurt, like all these superstars have been hurt. This has kind of been the story of the whole thing, which kind of wraps it all up. So let's go into our picks for tomorrow and tonight.
Got it.
I think we both already kind of said it. So tonight we got Clippers at the Suns. I think we both got Suns, right?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Suns. I got Chris Paul. Like this is the ultimate like nail in the coffin from his old. This is like this full circle of my time with the Clippers. I'm going to eventually put them away, and this Chris Paul has to do it. So many playoff falters. A lot of them had to do with injuries. This is a big, big night for Chris Paul. I think he gets it done, and the Suns go to the finals.
I think he also has to do it in LA. I think that's why they lost game 5, so he can go back to the Clippers and he can win a game. Game 6, go to the finals, clinching game in the Clippers building. And then now we got Hawks at Bucks game 5. I'm just going to go and say this for the rest of the series. I think this is whoever the home team wins each game. That's how I'm going to pick it. And so I think
Well,
Bucks
if, if we talk next week, what's today? Today is
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So there'll be Thursday, Saturday, and then we could be talking. If we talk on Monday, we could be talking about the game 7. So you think by the time you think there's going to be a game 7, I
I
got the
feel awful
Bucks.
about it, but
I
yeah.
got the Bucks winning the next 2.
Really.
Yeah, I think they
I
win at home, and then they go down to Atlanta, and they just like. I think they went to Magic City on Magic City Monday.
got
That's
some
a
lemon
big
pepper
deal. I think they
wings.
went there. So I got Bucks taking care of business on those 2 days. No game 7.
All right. Well, we'll see. I've doubted the Hawks too much. I need to chill out. I was
Yeah,
on their
same here.
wagon for the next season, and now I'm kind of off it. I don't want to triple, quadruple down on it, but that's what we got. That's what we got for this week. Next week, maybe talking finals, maybe talking game 7. We'll see.
It could be.
Could be. We're out. Peace.
See ya.